It's been wonderful just to hear all this information today. And as we continue to get a little bit closer to wrapping up, we really want to focus more on those lifestyle spending accounts and how they really can help current employees and retain those top tier talents and also attract them. So I can only imagine many of you in this room today were nodding your head when Kelsey was talking about the stress and the anxiety and the physical inactivity that happened during the pandemic and what we've seen. And even though we are now on the other side, those still pieces linger. And so what can we do to help our employees, help those coworkers, just help the overall culture when it comes to our company? And when you're looking at that, and Kelsey says so beautifully, the total well-being, it's looking at, again, everything under one picture and really leaning in to your culture, to your employees, and really taking that extra step and focusing. And it's going beyond. So when you're looking at what does going beyond mean, it's what about the social? What do they do outside? What do your employees do outside of their normal 8 to 5 or 7 to 7 shift? Where is their physical activity, or what is their social activity? It's also that mental and emotional that you need to pay attention to. How can we help support those employees throughout their day and even when they're outside of those work hours? Financial and overall career well-being. Are they looking at everything as a whole when you're focusing on that employee and the focus on the family? Just like Kelsey was talking about, small children, maybe aging parents, all those different pieces come into play. But bottom line, when you're looking at giving that total well-being to your employees, you're not only allowing them to have all these pieces kind of help, but you're supporting them in so many different ways, supporting your employees, supporting your culture, and overall help supporting your company. So those are things you always need to take into consideration when you are looking at that LSA. Now, when the lifestyle spending account, when you're looking at this, it is a wonderful employer benefit for so many different ways. One, it helps retain and attract employees, right? It's something outside the box that maybe your competitor is not offering. And we know that we're in a very competitive market these days when it comes to benefits and comparing benefits. But the one thing you have to take into consideration is the lifestyle spending account. It is a post-tax benefit. I get that question every single time. They're like, are you sure it's post-tax? Yes, it is. Now, I know we're always trying to find ways to give that pre-tax opportunity to employees, but there is some benefit as an employer that it's being post-tax, meaning the flexibility and the versatility that you have to create this program is phenomenal because you don't have all the restrictions and the compliance pieces that you necessarily do with a lot of your other benefits. So it really does help there. But then also, it allows you to customize your plan. And so when you're looking at that, just like Kelsey was saying, collect your data. What is important to your employees? What is going to help support them at work? What is going to help support them outside of work, on the weekends, with their family? And by collecting that data, you're able to customize that plan that you know that your employees really are going to use and they're going to value it. Then the nice thing is truly as an employer, a lot of times when you have kind of that pre-created LSA or you have an administrator that is helping you with this, it really minimizes the administrative burden because we understand that you wear so many different hats in your day as the owner, the HR director, whatever your role may be, that anytime that you can make an efficiency, it is going to help you. And then the great thing is always that data, the tracking, the efficiencies that it can provide, because on the lifestyle spending account, you can see what people are really using those funds for. And is it really making a difference? Still looking at the benefits, there's the employee benefit, right? And that's starting off with you are supporting your employees, their health, their overall well-being. And you're taking that next step, you're going beyond, and you're showing them that you really truly do care and you want to help. It also allows it to be personalized to the employee. So I always use the example of, you can have all these different eligible expenses that we'll talk about in a little bit, but now as an employee, I get to pick what is important to me. So if I am that individual that loves going to the gym and I love being there at 5:30 every morning, which I am not, but I get to spend that's what I want to spend those funds on. But what if I'd rather work out at home, or I want that fitness equipment, or you know what? Financially, I would really love some financial education, and that is incredibly important to me and my family right now, and that's where I want to spend my dollars on. I get that opportunity to customize and use the benefits that fit my needs for today. And so it really does allow and offer a valuable connection when it comes to the employer and the employee. Now, when you're looking at customizing your plan, there are so many different categories when you're looking at the lifestyle account. And I will tell you, many of you may have some kind of a lifestyle account already, and you might not even realize it. So for example, maybe you already have a gym reimbursement that is tracked through an Excel spreadsheet and you know you give a certain dollar amount, or you have a clothing reimbursement or a stipend that you provide and it's tracked internally. But have you ever thought about kind of creating all these different pieces that you do independently and creating an overall lifestyle spending account? Because they can go from recreational to the fitness side, the physical side, the home and auto maintenance. That is a piece that so many times is overlooked, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But the work equipment, again, COVID showed us that, hey, many people had to work from home or maybe now still work from home. Are you supporting them to make sure in today's world that they do have still everything that they need, or maybe it's time for an upgrade with their different pieces and equipment? The nutrition and overall the financial wellness. So these are just kind of high level categories that you should take into consideration when you're looking at the lifestyle spending account. I will also tell you the lifestyle spending account, we see dollars range all across the board on what employers give their employees to spend. We see, $200-$300 per year up to $2,000 and $3,000 per year. Again, this is an employer benefit that you as the employer get to choose what is the right fit and what works with your budget. The national average is, of course, $750. Now, I am not going to read this, but we do have a lot of wonderful partners that we work with currently on our lifestyle spending account. But a couple of things I just really like to bring up is it's just that opportunity. Again, whether it's the participant, we have testimonials from participants that truly say, I appreciate it, I love using it. And we have testimonials from employer groups that say, it helps with administration. We love this opportunity that we are providing for our employees. And so I just always like to remind individuals of the benefits there across the board. Now, this is my big slide, my long slide, that talks about all the different eligible expenses. And this is not all of them. These are just examples to start getting your mind running on, oh, yes, we already offer this independently, or, oh, I would love to be able to combine this. The things I love about the example list is because it really shows you how you can really expand that coverage that you have available and really focusing on how can it work for me versus how can it work for Tanya, because we are two very, very different people and we want to use those differently. I also always use my example of, for example, my spouse. He has a very unique, stressful job, works long hours, is on call 24/7. That not only affects his physical, mental, and emotional wellness, but guess what? It also affects my mental, emotional, and financial wellness. It affects our children. So how can we in whole look at that? And we always know, because I use this as an example, so you can laugh if you've heard it before too, but my wellness dollars always go to my massages every single month. And guess what? My husband knows better for my mental health and for his mental health. He doesn't mess with it. Okay. And so, but that's one of those things that you can personalize to yourself. The other great thing is when you are looking at different eligible expenses. Every company is different. So let's talk about the Jones technology. 35 employees, company profile, they work from home 50% of the time. They have high use of internet, and they have high-end technology that they want and expect to use for not only their working days, but also maybe in the evenings or weekends that they're different pieces. So their eligible expenses are going to look very different from maybe another company. So again, pieces that might really lean in and help support these employees are going to be the home office equipment, the software and technology platforms or upgrades that they have available. And again, that is for personal or professional use. They still may have their streaming services and their gym and their fitness reimbursement, but maybe this group, meal prepping is really important to them. Or they also have the reading memberships. And so these are pieces of knowing your employees and supporting your employees. Now on the flip side, Smith Manufacturing, 500 employees. They have 100% on-site. They work 10-hour shifts. It's a 24/7 operation, and it's very labor-intensive. This group and their wellness plan might look very different than Jones technology, because again, their focus is on safety. Their focus is on wellness. Their focus is on work equipment. And so they're out in the field. They need additional pieces of tools, and maybe you have steel-toed boots they have to use, those kinds of things. You're also looking at maybe these individuals having their personal utilities have that opportunity to use their funds on, hey, I'm going to pay for my gas this month, or I am going to pay for my internet out of my wellness and my lifestyle account. When you have that opportunity, whether it's that or the yard and home maintenance because you know your furnace is going out and you know winter is not done yet, but now you have that financial aspect of the stress level. If you know you have dollars that you can personally turn and do something that you financially need to take care of, how much stress does that take off of you as an employee? How much, and in return, what does that do for the employee? What does that do for the employer? Because they're going to be a better employee because you helped support them. So keep those different pieces in mind when you are looking at creating a lifestyle spending account, or when you're looking at what do you currently offer, how can you possibly expand this to really make sure you're collecting the data and you're supporting your employees. Just some nice category statistics here on if you're looking at based upon transactions, like the number of transactions versus the dollar amount that was actually spent. This is just going to show you probably the highest usage of different lifestyle spending accounts. So obviously when you're coming to the by transaction, the fitness activities, the food, the fitness equipment, the home office, really doesn't surprise me that those are kind of in those top. Same thing goes by the dollar amount, that is the activities, the fitness equipment, the home office. Truly, I do believe, fitness is right at the top there because that is what most people thought of when they think historically of a lifestyle spending account. And so that's just been around the longest. But I really do expect that some of these other pieces will really start to change these categories over the years as they really lean in and say, this is what my employees need. The home maintenance, the yard maintenance, the utilities, those different pieces will really start to change what that looks like. So very similar to what Kelsey talked about too, is when you're looking at what does my plan look like today? Do I have one? Do I have a partial one? Absolutely. Take a look at this, collect the data, do a survey with your employees to see what are they wanting? What, if they had, again, anything under the moon, what are those opportunities that are available to them? But still keep it simple. I think Roy, Kelsey, and I all said that today. I don't know if Jeremy talked about Cobra and how simple it is, but keep it simple. Make sure that it is leaning into those employees, that you are collecting the data, because guess what? If you give a benefit plan or a lifestyle spending account and use all these unique different systems, but it doesn't really resonate with me, am I going to use it? More than likely not. Now, the employer, if funds are not used at the end of the year, the employer actually keeps those funds. But of course, the point of using a lifestyle spending account is to support your employees. You want them to spend these dollars. So you want to create a plan that they want to actually use. The other big things is making sure that, again, it's customized to your team. It overall supports your culture. Because again, when you're supporting your culture, you're making a happier team, you're making a happier overall employees, and you're going to be able to see better success, better teamwork when it comes to that. And then also supporting your community. There are so many different ways that you can, with your lifestyle spending account, support just the local community that you're in. Whether it's, hey, go to the local gym that you have, or support this local farmer's market, or whatever it might be for food supply, you have those opportunities. And then just make sure that if you have questions, you're leaning and reaching out to your resources, whether that is, locally, or you reach out to Kelsey, you reach out to myself with Omnify, because we truly want to be your resource, and we are always more than happy to answer any questions you have when it comes to lifestyle spending accounts, total well-being, safety, anything along those lines. Because again, it's just the support is, where are we at today? Where do you want to be at tomorrow? And how are you going to get there? And the last thing when it comes to lifestyle spending accounts, so often in the past, we've always heard the one size fits all. That is not the case when it comes to the lifestyle spending accounts. One size fits one. It's one employer, one culture, and you have that ability to create that and customize that plan to have your team's well-being in mind when it comes to the LSA.